Sandra Bland said 7 words during a traffic stop. 7 words that seemed harmless. 7 words she thought were polite. 7 words that ended with her in jail. 3 days later, she was dead. I'm not going to sugarcoat this. What I'm about to show you could be the difference between driving away from a traffic stop and spending the night in a cell. Because in the last 90 days, I've represented 5 completely innocent people who made one of these 5 mistakes. And every single one of them was arrested. Not because they committed crimes, not because they were drunk or high, but because they said the wrong thing, moved the wrong way, or made the wrong assumption about what police can and can't do. I'm going to show you the 5 mistakes that turn routine traffic stops into arrests, and I'm going to give you the exact alternative for each one, because ignorance isn't just expensive, it's dangerous. I'm a criminal defense attorney. I've defended over 800 traffic-related cases, and I can tell you this, most people are their own worst enemy during traffic stops. They don't mean to be. They're trying to cooperate, they're trying to be respectful, but they don't understand that there's a difference between cooperation and self-incrimination. Before I reveal these 5 mistakes, if you want to protect yourself during every police encounter and understand what your rights actually are, not what people think they are, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications because what I'm about to show you, police academies teach officers to exploit. Let's start with the mistake that got Sandra Bland arrested. Mistake 1. Answering. Do you know why I pulled you over? The trap. Question. Mistake number 1. Answering the question, do you know why I pulled you over? This seems like a polite question. It's not. It's a confession trap. Here's what happens when you answer it. If you say no, you look dishonest or oblivious. The officer writes in their report, the driver claimed no knowledge of violation, indicating lack of attention to road conditions. If you say, yes, I was speeding, congratulations. You just confessed. You gave them a quotable admission they'll use in court. Your attorney can't fight a ticket when you've already admitted guilt on camera. If you say, was I speeding? Now you're playing games. The officer interprets this deception or attitude. It escalates the encounter. Every answer incriminates you. That's why it's a trap. What Sandra Bland should have said. Sandra Bland was pulled over for failing to signal a lane change. When asked why she was pulled over, she engaged in conversation. That conversation escalated. The officer ordered her out of the car. She questioned why. Within minutes, she was arrested for assault on a public servant. Here's what works instead. I'd prefer not to answer questions, officer. Here are my documents. Polite, direct. Invoking your 5th Amendment right without being confrontational. You're not required to answer investigative questions, only to provide license, registration, and insurance. Give those. Say nothing else. Mistake 2. Consenting to search. The permission trap. Mistake number 2, saying, sure, go ahead, when asked to search your vehicle. I cannot tell you how many clients sit in my office and say, but I had nothing to hide. Here's why that doesn't matter. Case example. Michael's story. Michael, a 28-year-old accountant, gets pulled over for a broken taillight. The officer asks, mind if I take a quick look in your car? Michael says, sure, I've got nothing to hide. 20 minutes later, the officer finds a small folding knife in the center console. Michael uses it for packages at work. The blade is 3.2 inches. State law says 3 inches is the maximum for concealed carry. Michael is arrested for illegal weapon possession. His car is impounded. He spends $8,000 in legal fees fighting a charge over a 0.2-inch difference. If Michael had said, I do not consent to searches, the officer would have needed probable cause to search. A broken taillight doesn't give probable cause to search the vehicle. The knife would never have been found. Here's what happens when you consent. You waive every 4th Amendment protection you have. Anything they find can be used against you, and anything includes a prescription pill that fell out of a bottle, drug possession, an empty beer can from last week, open container, a pocket knife you forgot about, weapon charge, something a passenger left, you're responsible. The correct response, officer, I do not consent to any searches. Say it clearly, say it on camera, don't explain, don't justify, don't say I have nothing to hide. Just invoke your 4th Amendment right and stop talking. If you're realizing right now that what you thought was cooperation was actually self-destruction, hit that subscribe button, because in 30 seconds, I'm revealing the mistake that gets more people arrested than any other. And it's something 90% of drivers do automatically without thinking. Let me show you mistake number 3. Mistake 3, reaching for documents too fast. The movement trap. Mistake number 3, reaching for your license before telling the officer what you're doing. Case example, Philando Castile. Philando Castile was pulled over in Minnesota in 2016. He told the officer he had a legally registered firearm. The officer said, "Don't reach for it." Philando said, "I'm not pulling it out." But Philando reached for his wallet to get his license. The officer, seeing the movement, fired 7 shots. Philando died in front of his girlfriend and her 4-year-old daughter. I'm not telling you this to scare you. I'm telling you this because sudden movements during traffic stops can be fatal. Here's what officers are trained to watch for. Hands. If they can't see your hands, they assume the worst. A reach toward the glove box could be reaching for a weapon. A reach toward your pocket could be reaching for drugs. The SAFE protocol. When the officer asks for license and registration, do this. Step 1. Keep both hands on the steering wheel where they can see them. Step 2. Say out loud, "Officer, my license is in my wallet in my back right pocket. My registration is in the glove compartment. How would you like me to proceed?" Step 3. Wait for instructions. Step 4. Move slowly. Narrate what you're doing. "I'm reaching for my wallet now. I'm opening the glove compartment now." Critical for gun owners. If you have a firearm in the vehicle, declare it immediately. "Officer, I want to inform you I have a legally registered firearm in the glove compartment. My registration is also there. How would you like me to proceed?" This narration keeps everyone safe. It shows you're cooperating, and it prevents the officer from interpreting your movements as threats. Mistake 4. Arguing about the law. The ego trap. Mistake number 4. Arguing with the officer about whether the stop is legal. I see this constantly. Someone watches YouTube videos, learns about their rights, and then tries to debate constitutional law on the roadside. Case example, Ryan's DUI. Ryan gets pulled over at a DUI checkpoint. He's completely sober, but he's also watched videos about checkpoint rights. Officer, license and registration. Ryan: "Actually, officer, I don't have to provide those at a checkpoint without reasonable suspicion. This is an illegal detention under the 4th Amendment. Officer: "Step out of the vehicle." Ryan: "Am I being detained? You need reasonable suspicion to." Officer: "You're being detained for obstruction. Step out now." Ryan argues. The officer calls backup. Ryan's phone is confiscated. He's arrested for obstruction and resisting. Spends the night in jail, completely sober. Here's the brutal truth. The roadside is not the courtroom. Even if the officer is wrong, even if the stop is illegal, even if you know your rights better than they do, you don't win by arguing. You comply. You invoke your rights verbally. You document everything. And you fight it in court with an attorney. The correct approach. If you believe the stop is illegal, say this: "Officer, I believe this stop may be unconstitutional, but I'm complying under protest. I'm documenting this encounter for my attorney." Then pull out your phone and start recording, but comply with lawful orders. You challenge the legality in court, not on camera. Because here's what happens when you argue: obstruction charge, resisting arrest charge, disorderly conduct charge. And now, instead of fighting 1 illegal stop, you're fighting 3 criminal charges. Mistake 5. Staying in the car when ordered out. The compliance trap. Mistake number 5. Refusing to exit your vehicle when ordered. This is the one that got Sandra Bland. The Sandra Bland case. Officer Brian Encinia pulled over Sandra Bland for a lane change violation. The encounter started normally, but it escalated when Sandra questioned why she had to put out her cigarette. Officer: "Step out of the car." Sandra: "Why do I have to step out of my car?" Officer: "Step out of the car." Sandra: "No, you don't have the right." Officer: "I'm giving you a lawful order. Get out of the car now or I will remove you." Sandra refused. The officer opened her door, pulled her out, slammed her to the ground, and arrested her for assault on a public servant. 3 days later, Sandra Bland was found dead in her jail cell. Here's the legal reality. Under Pennsylvania versus Mims, 1977, officers can order you out of your vehicle during any traffic stop for officer safety. You don't have to have done anything wrong. They don't need reasonable suspicion beyond the traffic violation. It's bullshit. But it's the law. If an officer says, step out of the vehicle, you have two choices. Choice 1, comply. Choice 2, refuse and get forcibly removed. Possibly injured, definitely arrested. What you should do: officer, for the record, I'm complying under protest. Can you state the reason you're ordering me out? Then step out, slowly, hands visible. Close the door behind you, lock it if possible. Once you're out, say, I do not consent to any searches of my person or my vehicle. Because here's what officers do. They order you out, then they look inside your car through the open door. Anything in plain view can be used as probable cause to search. By locking your door, you limit what they can see. By stating you don't consent, you protect your Fourth Amendment rights on camera. You comply with the order, but you protect yourself legally. If these 5 mistakes just revealed how easily innocent people get arrested during routine traffic stops, subscribe to this channel right now. Smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell, because the next video shows you what to say when police claim they smell marijuana, the #1 excuse used to search vehicles illegally. Legal disclaimer: this is educational content only, not legal advice. Every situation is different. For specific guidance, consult a licensed attorney in your state. Nothing in this video creates an attorney-client relationship. Let me recap the 5 mistakes that get innocent people arrested. Mistake 1, answering. Do you know why I pulled you over? Say, I'd prefer not to answer questions. Mistake 2, consenting to search. Say, I do not consent to any searches. Mistake 3, reaching for documents without narrating. Say, my license is in my back pocket. How would you like me to proceed? Mistake 4, arguing about the law on the roadside. Say, I'm complying under protest and documenting this for my attorney. Mistake 5, refusing to exit when ordered. Say, I'm complying under protest. Can you state the reason? Then exit. Sandra Bland made mistake number 5. She's gone. Michael made mistake number 2. He spent $8,000 proving his innocence. Ryan made mistake number 4. He spent a night in jail while completely sober. Philando Castile made mistake number 3. He's gone. These aren't theoretical. These are real people, real cases, real consequences. Print these 5 corrections. Keep them in your car. Practice them until they're automatic. Because the next time you see red and blue lights in your rearview mirror, your freedom depends on knowing what not to do. The video on screen shows you the exact words to say when cops call a K9 unit, another tactic designed to trap innocent people. Watch it next. Stay silent when you should. Speak up when you must. And always, always protect your rights. Stay informed. Stay protected. Stay free.